Supreme Court is agreed to take up a case involving care for transgender youth. The High Court announcing it will review the constitutionality of a Tennessee law banning gender-affirming care for minors, including puberty blockers and hormone therapy.
These are teens who identify as transgender who are saying, but if I didn't identify as transgender, then some of these treatments would be available to me. So this is a violation of the 14th Amendment Equal Protection Clause. You're treating similarly situated people differently, and you don't have a good enough reason to do so.
The outcome of the case could have a nationwide impact because more than 20 states have enacted laws restricting treatments for transgender youth. Arguments are set to happen in the fall.
Nearly 24 states have enacted restrictive abortion laws in the wake of the so-called Dobbs decision that reversed Roe v. Wade after nearly 50 years. Yesterday, outside the Supreme Court, abortion rights advocates railed against conservative justices' decision 2 years ago to overturn Roe v. Wade. On the campaign trail, Vice President Kamala Harris has made stops in Maryland and Arizona on Monday, focusing on what the Biden-Harris team is framing as the future of reproductive freedom. Abortion rights will be one of the top issues in the upcoming presidential election.
I'm here because I'm tired of my rights being stripped away from me.
I see it as a fight for women's independence and their autonomy, and I see it as a human rights issue.
Planned Parenthood announced Monday that it plans to spend $40 million ahead of the November presidential election in efforts to support the campaigns of President Biden and leading congressional Democrats. As the 2024 election nears, former President Trump is taking aim at Philadelphia. Both he and President Biden know that the road to getting the 270 electoral college votes needed to win the presidency goes through Pennsylvania.
And a lot of people believe that former President Trump is increasing his visibility in the city, from attending SneakerCon in February to his rally at Temple over the weekend. They say it's all part of his strategy, hoping to attract more black voters. Experts say Trump winning Philadelphia would be historic, but he may not have to win the city in order to win the state. 4 years ago, you may recall, President Biden beat Trump by more than 466,000 votes in Philadelphia, but he only won Pennsylvania by a little more than 80,000 votes. So experts say even a little voter movement toward Trump in Philly could be impactful.
See, now he's trying to get the black voters to come and vote for him. I do see that.
He's doing what you're supposed to do if you want to try to win the election.
The margins of victory are probably going to be small, right? So one candidate changing some minds or getting some new voters to turn out could make a big difference.
Well, President Biden has visited Philadelphia so far 5 times already this year, and polls show a very close race between him and Trump in the Keystone State. Experts say the deciding factor in Pennsylvania could come down to a few thousand votes.
Meanwhile, political analysts say young voters have the potential to play a big role in the outcome of the upcoming presidential election, but the numbers also reveal major questions about whether they'll actually show up at the polls. A new CBS News poll of registered voters under 30 shows that half feel the two candidates don't understand younger people, and they're less likely to want to vote because of that. And the economy is a central issue as well, as many young voters feel it's gotten harder to buy a house, raise a family, and get a good job.
The cost of everything is kind of going up in general.
It's kind of unfortunate that my current job is paying more than my future job.
Preferably somebody under the age of 50 would be awesome. In 2020, it's the same options you had then, and we all saw how that went.
The new poll also found that while the economy is top concern for young voters, the issues of abortion, climate, race, and diversity also rank higher for them than other groups. President Biden and former President Trump are preparing for Thursday's presidential debate in Atlanta. They'll share a debate stage for the first time since 2020. Both campaigns hope to break through to undecided voters. You can watch the debate hosted by CNN on CBS Philadelphia. Coverage starts at 9 o'clock.
Well, Hunter Biden's legal team is requesting a new trial in his federal gun case. His lawyers say it was a procedural issue that resulted in a guilty verdict. The attorneys also claim the trial court did not have jurisdiction of the case because the appeals filed to challenge his prosecution. They claim the appeals court did not follow a procedure that officially notifies a lower court of a higher court ruling, which is a maneuver known as a mandate. Although Biden's appeals were rejected before trial, his defense team says the convictions still must be erased.